Hi, my name is Miranda and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a bucket hat with a modification to Sammi Jean's bucket hat tutorial. This one uses half double crochet instead of double crochet, so you're going to have more rows, but you're going to have more opportunity for color changes. I was looking for the bucket hat. I can't find it because my daughters took it, but here is what the bucket hat looks like. And I was super excited to do a collab with Michael, so all of the yarn specific to this pattern is updated. So if you've purchased this pattern, look in your email. If you purchased the bundle, check it out. And if you want to learn how to crochet or you want to support a small business, make sure you hit that follow and go check out Sammi Jean's pattern on my website. But we are gonna get started. This pattern uses 2 strands, but we're going to use them as they are one. If you want to do color changes, you can go watch Taryn's sweater for how to change colors. That one does a good job. Otherwise, I might do another tutorial on just changing colors sporadically because I've been doing that a little bit lately. So to start, you're going to lay your yarn in your hand and you're going to wrap it around your index finger twice so you have 2 on the loop. You're going to take your left and bring it over your right, but still keep it on your finger. And then take your left and bring it over. And that is going to help us create our magic circle. And you're gonna put your hook through here. The first one's gonna be a little tricky. It might slip away from you, but you're gonna wrap your yarn around to just pull it through. So then you have it just looped on your hook. So from here, you're going to do 2 chain stitches. In this pattern, the chain stitch counts as a stitch. So you're gonna loop and you're gonna bring the bottom string over the top. So 1, and then you're going to do that again, loop, and bring the bottom over the top. So that is a chain stitch. Once you finish your chain stitch, and that counted as 1, we are going to half double crochet around this. To half double crochet, you are going to loop, you're going to go under this string like this, so you'll have 3 on your hook, and you're going to loop, and this one's probably going to be the complicated part, but you're going to loop, and then you're going to bring that second string over that first, like this. So now you have 3 on your hook. 1, 2, 3. And now this time you're going to loop and you're going to bring those bottom 3 all over the top. So you can turn your hook and tuck that yarn underneath that hook to pull it underneath. And you're going to go through all 3 of those. I think because I did that slow, it didn't look as smooth, but I will show you again. So that is, so we have our chain stitch that counts as 1, and then this one. So we're going to try again, loop, under, loop, back. So now we have 3 on our hook, loop, and under all 3. One more time, loop, under, loop, back, 3 on your hook, loop, and then bring the bottom 3 over the top. So we are going to go all the way around and I'll meet you at the end. When you get all the way around, you will pull it tight and it'll bring that circle, but don't pull it too tight because you'll rip the yarn apart. But then what you're going to do is you are going to go, this is how you're going to slip stitch to secure for the entire bucket hat. But you can see you have 1, 2 chain stitch. So you're going to put your hook right in between the chain stitch where we did our chain stitch and then the actual first stitch. You're going to put your hook between there and you're going to loop. And then you're just going to go back and back. And that is a slip stitch. So we do a slip stitch to secure, and then that is our first round. So the entire top of the hat, you're going to be increasing the whole time, which means you're going to be adding more than 1 into your previous stitch, and I'll show you what that means. But we do that so we can expand out. This was a practice one, and I ended up making it way too big. But if you start getting it really starts rippling, subtract a couple chain stitches from the original. If you get a little bit too ripple, subtract 2 half double crochets from your initial ring and that should fix it up. But it should lay pretty flat. So if you see it start to ripple like this, you have too many in the initial. So by the time you get to the 4th or 5th row, if you start to see that ripple, I would suggest frogging it, which means taking it out. But I'm going to show you how to do the increases now. What you're going to do for the next round is you will add 2 chain stitches, 1, 2. And then from here, so this counts as a stitch already. So we've added 1 stitch out of here, but now we're going to add a second. So you're going to do your half double crochet. And then, but when we go to the next one, so you'll loop, and you can see where the stitches If you look at it from the top, you can see like all the V's. Each V is a stitch. But so you'll go under the V and you'll go under both of them. Loop, back, 3 on your hook, loop, and back. And then that is a half double crochet. Now to increase, we're gonna go right back into the same place we just did. So you're gonna loop, you're gonna go right next to it. So under that same V, under, loop, back, 3 on your hook, loop, and back. So that is an increase. So we will put 2 under each V in this one and go all the way around, and then I will meet you at the next one. When we get all the way around, so this is where we did our slip stitch to secure the last time. That does not count as a stitch. If you continue to increase into this, your project will get really lopsided on that. So you're gonna ignore this last stitch right there because that's what jumped us over. And so now you'll do the same thing where you'll put your hook in between the chain stitch that you used to jump up and the actual stitch. You can either try to tuck it underneath here. I like to tuck it under there instead of just going into the gap because I think it secures it cleaner. But you're gonna go under, loop, and then you're just gonna go back and back. So then you can see that that last one, that last V was just to secure it over, so don't stitch into that. But now we are just going to keep going on, and then the pattern includes where to increase and how many rows. So we're gonna keep going. Remember, it should stay nice and flat like this. Another thing, if you wanna practice, these make great coasters. So if you can get them to stay flat, this one, remember that was my mess up, but you can do what, 4 or 5 rows and then have little coasters, 6 rows, and practice, but they should stay flat on their own. You shouldn't have to press them. Once you are done with the top part and ready to go down, this is the second part here. This should not be wider than the top of your head, otherwise your bucket hat will be way oversized. So trust the process on this part. But for this next part, there's not gonna be an increase for the whole thing. The first row where we're moving down, we're gonna do in the back loop only. So earlier I showed you the V's and that marks the stitch. So for this next part, we're not gonna increase, we're just gonna do half double crochets, and you're gonna do it in the back loop only. So that just means on that part of the V. So you're gonna loop and you're gonna go under just the back part, loop, back, 3 on your hook, loop, and back. So loop, and then you're gonna just, so instead of going under both of them like that, you're gonna just go under the back loop only. Loop, back, loop, and back. And you will continue that all the way around your hat for this row and just do it in the back loop only. And then when you get all the way around, you will slip stitch to secure like we've been doing. And then then the next row, you'll jump up and you'll just do half double crochets as normal. The last part on your bucket hat is gonna be doing the brim and going out. So once you have the desired amount of rows, depending on what size bucket hat you're making, this one is for my 3-year-old, so I made this one a little bit shorter, but now what we're going to do, so we did the back loop only for this one. So now we're gonna switch to the front loop. So we're still gonna do our half double crochet, so we're gonna loop, but this time we're gonna go under, loop, back, loop, and back. So with that V you have, what you're gonna do, see the V, instead of going under both like that, you are just gonna go under the front loop only. This will help your hat go out. And then, so this is still an increase on this row. So we're gonna go first, we'll do 1 stitch in the front loop right here. And then we're gonna add 1 more. So an increase means we're gonna go right in there. And you can see where you did your stitch by where you pull, that string will move. So we're gonna add an increase and do 2 in that one. And then we will continue on all the way around. And the amount to increase is located or called out in the pattern. And then when you get all the way around of your hat, you will do a slip stitch to secure. And the last part, to close it off, we will do a half double crochet in our last stitch here. We will do slip stitch to secure like we have been doing. Slip stitch. And then from here, you will do 1 chain stitch like that. And then you will cut your string and then pull your yarn through. And then weave in the ends, but then your bucket hat is complete. All the details to make this are in the pattern, and I will have Maisie try it on, and I'll post some photos of that later with her on. But we're gonna wear this to the state fair, so if you want to check out the pattern, go visit my website, craftymamamur.com. Hit that subscribe if you're not already, and as always, follow along for more parts.